Up next, a box opening of the WAN Company's Tricorder. Well, hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. Just bear with me, I'm adding in a few extra comments to an already edited video. The reason I'm doing this is I want to directly address the question of how I went about purchasing a tricorder. As many of you know, it's been a bit confusing and a challenge to get a hold of one, so I thought I would convey my experience with you, and hopefully this will help you out. Now, a few friends of mine, so there are 4 of us in this messenger thread. We use it to communicate other things as well, but we were all wanting to get a hold of this tricorder, so we agreed that we'd be watching for this. All of us were on the WAN Company's email already, and we all received that notice, as many of you probably did, that everything was going to move forward. I can't remember exactly when that was now. I think it was just the beginning of this year, but either way, we got that notice, and that we also were told it was only going to be available through Amazon UK. So about 2.5 weeks ago now, a friend of mine in this group received an invitation from the WAN Company to purchase a tricorder. When she clicked on the link, it turned out it directed her to Amazon US. So once she saw it was available, she messaged us the same link that she was using, and I just happened to get into that time frame or that window of availability that I, along with one other friend in this group, were able to purchase one. Now, one guy was not able to at that time, but he ended up getting the same invitation shortly after, and he finally got a hold of his. And it turns out on the 7th, because I stopped checking for this email, I ended up receiving the same invitation as well, and this is what it looks like. So it invites you to purchase a tricorder. It provides an icon bar that you click on that I assume will take you to that Amazon US website. And if it's available, it'll tell you, and you want to go ahead and purchase a tricorder. If it's not available, this is what it tells you, and it just tries to reassure you that more is to come and not to worry, and they'll message you again or email you again. And take note that there is an explanation at the bottom as to why these changes have taken place, and they're due to recent changes in Amazon's export policies. So even if you wanted to get one from Amazon UK and you're in the States, it's not even possible any longer. So I did contact the WAN Company just to clarify a few other things, but they sent me a link to provide you guys, and it's in the video's description, and that is the link to register with them. That way you can express your interest in purchasing a tricorder, and they say they will go ahead and send you the same invitation that I received, and hopefully you'll have the same opportunity to buy one as well. The product is fantastic. I'm sure you'd really like it. It retails for $415 now. That is a bit more than what they told us, which I think was like $350. But I really wanted one, so that was not a concern for me. But hopefully, if you follow these steps, you'll be able to get one as well. All right, so hopefully that clarifies everything. If you have any other questions, I'm not sure what other information I can provide for you, just leave it down below in the video's description. Or email me at interstellarmodeler@gmail.com. All right, let's move on now with a look at the tricorder from the WAN Company. Well, hey guys, and welcome back to another Interstellar Modeler. I'm going to be doing a box opening in this video, something I don't do very often on the channel, but I'm going to make an exception here because what I'm holding is a replica of the original series tricorder released by the WAN Company. If you're not familiar with the WAN Company, they gained some notoriety a number of years back when they produced a replica of the original series phaser, and that was then followed by a replica of the communicator, which is just an outstanding piece, one of my favorite pieces in my collection. And several years ago now, they had announced that they were going to be doing the original series tricorder. Now, it has taken a long time to get to this point because there were a number of delays, or at least a lot of things that seemed to hold things up, and many of us who were following this along never really thought it would get off the ground. But last year, they came to Comic-Con with a prototype, and it just looked fantastic. It seemed to fulfill everything they were talking about. It was just an amazing replica that I knew I had to get a hold of. So I made sure I was on that mailing list, and then it kind of went quiet for a little bit. Then most of us thought, oh, here we go again. But at the beginning, or I think it was actually at the end of last year, they announced that it was really going to move forward. And so after all this time, I'm holding it right here. So I'd like to spend a few minutes to share this with you because I think this is going to be pretty extraordinary. And so what I'm going to do here is take it out of the box, and we'll take a look at the original series tricorder from the WAN Company. Alright, so this is the box that it comes in, and as you can see, it's nicely decorated with an image of the tricorder. and it's labeled Standard Issue Tricorder. And let's go ahead and open up the box, and as we do so we can see there is this card here. It's an instruction card that has instructions on one side and a product image on the other. Now I have to admit that I did take this card out a little earlier to read through so that I could better demonstrate the functions of the tricorder for you guys. Alright, let me go ahead and set these instructions aside, and as you can see to the right here now is a piece of EVA foam that covers the stand, and it's metallic as well as magnetic. And that's a display stand there. And then we've got now 8 discs here. They're aluminum discs which are color-coded with a laminate. And you can see they're labeled. And the color is actually what the sensor uses to identify the function of that particular disc and thus change the display accordingly. And I'll show you that in a second. Alright, well next we have the tricorder itself. Underneath this cardboard is hidden the strap. And the tricorder is inside this beautiful case. Removing the tricorder, you can see that beautiful mid-23rd century design, and it is just a beautiful replica with metal trim that nicely replicates the look of the studio prop. So flipping it open, you can see the screen display along with the controls and the speaker there. The display is protected by this clear piece of plastic, which I'll go ahead and remove, and you can see the display cover is made of a highly polished plastic. The next panel reveals the location where the discs are going to go. And again, there's a sensor on the far right one here that will detect the color of the discs. So the way this works is we load the discs in. I'll go ahead and put them in place here. And the discs pop into each of these slots here. And there's a spring action mechanism, as you can tell, in each one. And they are labeled on the side as well. Okay, so now that the discs are in place, we can turn on the tricorder by pressing the middle button here. And we'll see an arrowhead pop up there. And this is now the home screen display, which is labeled Tricorder USS Enterprise, standard issue. This is the time, and we've got 3 icons down at the bottom. You'll see it says Archive, Prop, and Setting. So the Archive is there because that is the disk we've got in place at the far right. The Prop setting actually takes us to the gray screen that we typically see on the TV show. And if I press it, I get the scanner sound that we're all very familiar with. Now this takes us back to the home screen. Now, as I said, what determines the function that you'll see here on the screen is the disk that's here on the right-hand side. So one way to change a function is to pop that disk out and put in another. However, there's a way to override this, and that's done by clicking the settings icon. And you can see this gives us an ability to adjust the settings of the screen and so forth, but you'll see there's an override function right there. And if we press that, it takes us to all of the functions there of the disks, including one extra, which is this engineering function there. So I'm going to go back because I wanted to show you the archive function. And what's cool here is this has just different shots from the show. So for example, it says Edith Keeler right there. Let's go ahead and press that one. And you can see the screen pops up that Spock used to show Kirk that Edith Keeler was to be killed in a car accident. And if we go back, we can select the second reel, and this is the screen that shows that she's to meet with FDR as an alternative future. And if we go back, we'll take a look at the newsreel that Spock showed. So very cool how you can see all these different displays here. And there are other ones here, including Baylock, which reminds me of the old AMT of the old AMT tricorder. And there are other ones there too. So just to run through a few of these other functions here, this middle button now has also a toggle that allows us to switch from each of these functions here. And I'll just go ahead and select one. Let's go ahead and select this planetary one. And you can see there's just different shots of planets from our solar system and some data about each one. And if we go back to the override function again, let's, for example, pick this logs one. And this one has all these different captain's logs. So let me go ahead and play the first one for you.
Captain's log, stardate 1513.1. Our position, orbiting planet M113. On board the Enterprise, Mr. Spock, temporarily in command.
So the logs are all labeled by episode and season. And let me just pick another one real quick for you guys. We'll go to season 2. This says episode 1 through 11. And let's just do the first one there.
Captain's log, stardate 3372.7. On course, on schedule, bound for Altair 6 via Vulcan. First Officer Spock seems to be under stress.
So once you close the screen, that's what turns off the display. And I wanted to show you here in this compartment underneath, we have the charging cord as well as some dividers that can go inside this, this little drawer here. And if we were to unscrew the backside, you would get access to the battery that can be replaced. Well, if by chance you're not familiar with the Wand Company and the other replicas they've released in the past, here they are. Of course, we have the communicator and the phaser. The phaser is the first one they did release quite a while ago now. I can't remember what year this was released in, but you can see it's a beautiful replica of the phaser. It has a gray color to it rather than the blue-gray that you sometimes see. The body is plastic, as you can see, but the handle is metallic. And the phaser 1 is detachable. So the phaser 1 is what has all of the effects and sounds. If you turn it on by pressing this, it gives you this FX mode, and then you can alter the sounds that it has by changing the dial setting here. So let's go ahead and press the trigger button, and you can see that is the stun sound. If we switch to the next setting, we have one of the phaser beams. That one has a higher pitch, as does that one. And that was another sound that I recall from one of the episodes. And that sounds more like the sound that the ship makes when it fires the phasers. And this is now an overload function. And if I undo the screw, you can see the crystal inside. And what we have here, of course, is the communicator, which is very impressive. I really do think this is a wonderful replica of the prop. This one is turned on by pressing on this button here. And you can see when we open the lid again, it makes the chirp sound, and you can see the MOR dial is moving there. And it provides different sounds.
Enterprise Bridge, Lieutenant Uhura.
And you can go up,
Enterprise, Spock here.
toggle to the side,
McCoy here. Scotty here, Captain.
toggle down,
Yes, Captain.
and if we toggle twice
Aye, sir.
in each direction, we get a different response.
Captain. Enterprise out. Received and understood. I'll do what I can, sir.
And then when you close it, it shuts it off. Now I should mention that both the phaser and communicator have additional functions besides being a prop. The phaser had the ability to connect to any home entertainment system and function as an infrared remote, while the communicator allows users to pair it with Bluetooth devices for hands-free calling and audio playback. Now, unfortunately, neither of these are produced any longer, and believe it or not, the original price was $150 for each of these separately. Now, you can still find them on sites like eBay, but the communicator can go for over $400, while the phaser can be found for well over $800. So I have to say that in keeping with what they've done in the past, they've created another beautiful replica here, and if you could swing it and are a big Trek fan, I'd highly recommend one. All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed this look at the tricorder from the Wong Company. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me here on my YouTube channel or at innocentmodeler@gmail.com. Enterprise.
Enterprise. Spock here.
I think we're done here. One to beam up.